Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. A fight between Filip Hrgovic and Joe Joyce has been ordered by the EBU for the vacant European heavyweight title. So this has been confirmed by Filip Hrgovic's co-promoters, the Sauerland brothers. See here on screen, so Kalle and Nissa Sauerland from their joint Twitter account say, confirmed, European Heavyweight Championship ordered between Filip Hrgovic and Joe Joyce boxing, date and venue TBC, hashtag Hrgovic and Joyce. So just because this is ordered does not necessarily mean it is going to happen. You may recall Joyce was going to fight for the vacant title against Marco Huck. Huck pulled out through injury, and prior to that Joyce was meant to fight Ajit Kabayel, the title holder at the time, but Kabayel vacated the title and went off to America, signed a co-promotional deal with Top Rank. So Hrgovic and Joyce, on the basis that it's been ordered, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but if it does, it's a great fight. I really like the matchup, and it's not the first time that these two have shared the ring together. Back in 2013, and see here on screen, this is in the World Series of Boxing. They met, I think it says here, Week 8, World Series of Boxing, Season 3. And Joe Joyce, he actually got a split decision win over Hrgovic. So this was, what, 7 years ago now. They were both pretty green and raw at that point. So Joe Joyce had only been boxing for a couple of years. Filip Hrgovic was, what, about 19 or so at that time. So this is a fight, if it does come off, I really like it. And in terms of the reaction from Joe Joyce, so you can see here on screen, on Twitter, he's posted a martial arts master sort of stroking his beard. And below that, he has a tweet from Boxing UK, which talks about the fight being ordered, but it also mentions that Mike Coppinger of The Athletic has claimed that a deal for Joyce to fight Daniel Dubois on April 18th just awaits Daniel Dubois' signature. So seemingly Joyce does have some options, and in this tweet it says, help us out Sam Jones, which is Joyce's manager. And of the reaction from him to the Nissa and Kalle Sauerland tweet, he says, no problem. And above that you can see this other tweet, ooh, the plot thickens, hashtag the juggernaut. So Joe Joyce and Filip Hrgovic, I like the fight, and in terms of how it might play out, I think it's going to be quite a bruising encounter. Both are big guys, 6'6". Filip Hrgovic and Joe Joyce, I think this would be a real battle, a real war. Hrgovic behind the jab looking for big right hands, Joyce just coming forward with volume. I think it would be a very interesting style clash, and it's hard to pick a winner. A lot of people have a knock on Joyce, say that he's slow as molasses with his punches, but he's also, you know, with the volume of punches that he throws, it's a defense as well, but he is very hittable. And we did see Bryant Jennings hurt him to the body early in their fight in 2019, so there are a few questions about Joyce. What is he like to the body now? But also, Filip Hrgovic, he's been going away from the sort of fluid style that he did demonstrate. People used to say that he was Vitaly Klitschko-esque with his sort of style, the way that he moved, the fluid nature in which he fought. But in 2019, he was bulking up, a career heaviest towards the end of the year. He's been knocking people out. His right hand, he's seemingly fallen in love with the power. Would he be able to knock Joe Joyce out? Joyce, he has been stopped before in the amateurs, but he's got a pretty decent chin. Hrgovic and Joyce, I like the fight for a number of reasons, and these two came up together in the amateurs. They've been coming up together in the pros. Both former Olympians. Joe Joyce got the silver at Rio, Filip Hrgovic the bronze, and both believe that they did beat Tony Yoka in that Olympic Games, but Yoka went on to claim the gold. So there is a little bit of a shared history and a little bit of a rivalry on the way up, all the way back from the amateurs, and I'm sure Hrgovic would want to avenge that split decision loss from 2013. But it's a very interesting and big fight for the heavyweight division. Although these two guys are, you know, prospects at this stage, what, 10 fights or so on the ledger. Not many meaningful fights of a sort of 50-50 or close to it get made each year in the heavyweight division. And this one here, I would probably slightly favour, you know, Filip Hrgovic, maybe 55-45, but I think it's a very intriguing matchup. Joyce obviously gets ripped by a lot of fans, but the thing is, he's very effective. And until he gets beaten, you know, he is a shot in any fight that he's in. Sure, he can get tagged by guys, but he's also wearing guys down in the process of through what he does, the volume. So I like this fight for a number of reasons. How about you? Do you see this fight actually coming off? Because like I said earlier, just because it's been ordered doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. And with Joyce and Daniel Dubois potentially in the offing, it might actually be something that just sort of falls through. But I do like the matchup. It seemingly come from nowhere, but obviously Keller and Nissa Sauerland, they like it. And I think for Filip Hrgovic at this point, he needs the tough tests like Joe Joyce. He's needs to step up from some of the competition he's been facing. Someone like an Eric Molina, which is probably his best win on his resume, he was more than ready for that fight, and obviously he dispatched Molina in 3 rounds. Joe Joyce in 2019 proved that he can mix it with guys who are at contender level. A very good win over Bryant Jennings. Although he did get hurt early in that fight, he came back, battled back, and in the end got a decent looking decision over a guy who has fought for a world title before and still has something to offer the division. So I like these guys if they do actually get in the ring together, because I think it's a very good fight and one that is relatively evenly matched. Stylistically, it might mesh well in terms of the action front. I don't think this is going to be one where it's a stinker. It really is going to be a bit of a slugfest in my view. They will be trying to knock each other out, but it wouldn't surprise me if it went to a decision. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.